finding bugs hidden in the mattress of your new college apartment. Not a great way to start the semester, but that's what happened to some UMaine students. Plus.
But I think I had a similar reaction to what the kids will have is, whoa, what do you mean? And I needed more clarification.
One Lewiston school has gone cell phone free, while the school principal thinks that that policy is long overdue. Hello and welcome to Now, everybody. As I was saying, hello and welcome to Now, everybody. I'm Lee Goldberg.
And I'm Des Gagne in for Amanda Hill. Back to school is upon us, and a new year means a fresh start.
Yeah, and at Lewiston Middle School, they're taking advantage of that fresh start, hoping to keep its students' noses in books instead of having eyes glued to their phones. And we want to know what you think, and we definitely know you have opinions, so please tell us.
Go to pulse.newscentermaine.com or select the Pulse tab on our mobile app. Should cell phones be banned from the classroom? Lewiston Middle School principal thinks so.
My initial reaction was, wow, it's a drastic move.
When students walk into Lewiston Middle School, the message will be clear. No cell phones allowed, non-negotiable, period.
Kids at this age and stage of their life are not able to appropriately use social media and reflect on what they're going to say in the timely manner that they should. And so we're taking that obstacle away altogether.
Principal Janet Mates says the staff has been looking for some way to stop the bullying and basic mistreatment of people that's taken over the school the past couple of years. This cell phone ban is step number one.
If we're going to be united, that we need to bring some kindness back into this building and relationships with kids and the whole face-to-face piece that has sort of been lost over the last couple of years.
If a child is caught using their cell phone, the first time will result in a verbal warning. Second time, the phone will be taken away for the day. And the third time, the phone will be taken away and only a parent can come pick it up. Speaking of parents, reaction to this ban has been mixed.
I think some parents are going to be relieved that we're really focusing on the teaching and learning, which is what schools should be. And I think there are going to be some parents that are apprehensive about how do I get in touch with my student? How does my student get in touch with me? And so that's where we've been proactive. We're going to use old-fashioned landlines, and our job is to keep kids safe. And if a parent needs to get in touch with a student or their child, they can call the office and we'll look up their schedule and we know where they are and we'll relay the message to them.
The staff at the school will have access to their cell phones if it's for school appropriate use, and everyone is all in to help enforce this new rule.
I understand it and I get it, and it's about relationships. And I know a lot of kids who don't necessarily remember the rules in middle school or don't necessarily remember exactly what happened in middle school, but they remember the relationships they had with their teachers. They remember the people, and I think taking away the phones will help them or force them to interact with people.
I would even argue border on addicted to technology, where they don't even know that they have their phone out. So it is a struggle. I do appreciate the policy to an extent because it means that I don't have to worry about kids pulling out their phones randomly.
All right, this Lewiston plan getting lots of love on social media. Sonia and Lisa both think it's a fantastic idea. Kimmy says they didn't have phones when she was in school. You just went to the front office if a parent needed to speak to you, and then the class wasn't disturbed.
Jack says that this is really a no-brainer, but Norm wonders about school lockdowns and how you would contact your child during an emergency. So banning phones in middle school makes sense. They're mostly teenagers with smartphones, but is this a problem trickling down into elementary school?
Well, according to a study by Influence Central, on average, kids are getting their first phones between 10 and 11 years old. Over the years, that age has been getting younger and younger. According to the same study, most tweens create their first social media accounts before they're even 12 years old.
You are a part of this conversation. Comment now on our Facebook live stream to tell us what you think, and make sure you're voting in the Pulse poll.
Now, should cell phones be allowed in schools? Go to pulse.newscentermaine.com or select the Pulse tab on your mobile apps.
Are you two ready to go back to school?
Yes. No. Especially because I don't even know my...
If you're like that, Mom, you are ready for the kids to get on the bus and get out of the house.
And if you're waiting until the very last minute, like me, to get school shopping done for your kids, you are probably not alone.
We sent our own procrastinator, Zach Blanchard, out to find all your last-minute shoppers and take a look at just how much money you're spending. Hey, Zach.
Hey, Lee and Jess, more than $29 billion, yes, billion with a B, is expected to be spent on back-to-school supplies this year, according to the National Retail Federation. And you may have noticed the older your child gets, the more dollars you seem to shell out. So I went to Target with Riley and Madison Smith to see if it was true. Using recommended supply lists for Maine schools, we shopped for Madison in 6th grade and compared it to Riley in 3rd grade. The list for 6th grade included pencils, highlighters, binders, and a calculator. Madison's grand total reached $54 compared to 3rd grade list including a backpack, glue, and folders. Riley's purchases came out to $37. That's more than a 30% increase with just a 3-year difference. So why?
You definitely need a lot more stuff, so I need like a bigger backpack because my planner got like this wide.
That's the last thing. And not just more stuff, but more expensive items like calculators and binders. Check with your local school for shopping lists. Some require more than others do. And you can see more of our shopping trip tomorrow. Plus, we'll compare it to shopping online. It's easier, but is it cheaper? We'll have that tomorrow on the Morning Report, starting bright and early at 4:30. Lee and Jess.
All right, for some kids, the backpacks are packed, the pencils are sharpened.
Or it may be more timely to say their iPads are charged. Get with the times, come on. Either way, the first day of school photos are already rolling in. Thank you to everyone who posted these pictures to our Facebook page. We love them. Please, please, please keep them coming. And anyone getting up early to catch the school bus probably starting to feel a little chill in the air. I got the sweater today.
Keith, please do not tell me that Maine Diego is over. I feel fall creeping in. Come on.
It is. It's coming in a little early as well. Take a look at the morning lows, and we got into the 40s even right along the coastline. 47 in Portland this morning, 39 in Sanford, and 39 in Freiburg as well. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that over the next few days, especially as we head into the weekend. Current temperatures, though, big recovery there for sure. Look across northern Maine, 74 in Millinocket, 78 in Caribou. They saw some sunshine today. That helped rocket temperatures up. Meanwhile, central and southern Maine was milky through the entire day today, and admittedly more cloudy than I anticipated over the southern half of the state, as we've seen some of these clouds ride out ahead of a system that was possibly going to be a tropical storm. Looks like it's running out of its window, but see how that cloud shield extends all the way into northern New England. So tonight it will be kind of that mostly cloudy with the high thin clouds around. I think tomorrow is considerably cloudy to start the day as well, and then we start to clear out late in the afternoon, and, you know, probably 3 or 4 hours before the sun sets when we start to clear out, and then some showers move in on Thursday. That cloud shield, by the way, is part of a big storm system that will relatively narrowly miss us. So we'll talk more about that. And guys, I'm also using the S word in the forecast, so you might want to stick around for that.
Nope, not talking to you right now.
Summer? Is that the S word?
That's what I should be using.
Right.
We are fighting, Mr. Carson. All right, back to school also means back to dorms, back to apartments for a lot of those college kids.
That's right, and moving into your own place can be very exciting, but for one family, it wasn't a very pleasant experience. The Ross family from South Berwick sent us this video of bugs crawling in a mattress. They say they found them when moving their daughter into the Reserve Apartments in Orono near the University of Maine campus. They were told that they were carpet beetles, which are harmless to humans, and they were told they were not bed bugs, and then they were given a new mattress. The Rosses say the apartment was dirty and the Reserve reimbursed them for a hotel room while it was being cleaned. Another student who used to live in the building says he also experienced issues there, such as management going into his apartment without proper notice.
In my opinion, the problem here is they see a bunch of college students, so they like to treat you as such. They don't give you the rights that you would have living somewhere else through other landlords.
Now, the company that manages public relations for the Reserve sent us a statement saying a pest control service verified the bugs that were found were carpet beetles. They say that the apartment was cleaned again by a professional cleaning crew and that the carpets and the furniture are being replaced. They also apologize for any inconvenience.
If you're still packing up your college student, experts say planning ahead will help you to avoid some of the headaches that can come on moving day.
Just get all the packing done well beforehand, because there's enough other things that last minute you can't get it all done.
Know about where you're going to go. Think about where you're going to go. Can you get into the area you're going to go? Because if you have a truck that's too big, you may not be able to access it.
This is a busy time of year at the U-Haul in Portland, and if you don't want to wait in line, managers say you can reserve a truck at any time through their website. Across town, students from the University of Southern Maine are already in their dorms and headed to class. School officials say move-in day was last Friday, and it was a smooth one thanks to help from volunteers and upperclassmen.
Unloading their cars, putting the sign, the cars moved out and get everyone up the stairs. And we literally had over 570 students moved into their rooms within 3.5 hours.
Moving day is an emotional day, of course, and the Dean of Students also said, let your parents make your bed because they're gonna want to, so let them, don't fight them on it.
No, I think I'm good. Yeah.
Are you crying right now?
Nope, I'm crying because it's not going to come fast enough.
Oh, geez.
No,
Still come on now. Let's move on. A 5-year-old girl died last night from a gunshot wound. What we know so far.
And the president visits Texas to assess the damage from Hurricane Harvey, plus how you can help families left homeless by the floods.
An autopsy is being performed on the body of a 5-year-old girl killed by a gunshot wound last night in Scarborough. Police say Elise Dorr was at her grandparents' house with her siblings and parents. The family is from Belfast. Police are still trying to figure out what led up to the child's death.
Sirens and loudspeakers in Japan warning people to take cover and be prepared for a missile attack from North Korea. This morning, the hermit country conducted its boldest test yet, firing a ballistic missile over Japan and into the sea.
President Trump and First Lady Melania are in Texas today, surveying the disaster zone left behind by Hurricane Harvey. The commander-in-chief was greeted by Texas Governor Abbott. The state is ramping up the search and rescue effort as reservoirs overflow and levees break open.
Obviously, a lot of people asking, how can I help? Well, one way is to donate to the Texas Cares initiative that's being set up by Tegna, our parent company. They're matching the first $100,000 in donations nationwide, and the money goes straight to the Red Cross Hurricane Harvey Relief Fund. You can find a link to Texas Cares on our homepage, app, and mobile website. Athletes talk trash and celebrities throw shade. Why do fans love it so much? We'll take a look at why feuds sell when we come back.
I'm sorry, we might have to say we may need to break out the jackets this week. A dip in the temps. Keith will tell us about it next in the full forecast.
Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, Katy Perry and Taylor Swift, celebrities at each other's throats, and America loves it. Why do we love it when famous people feud? We brought in a sports marketing expert to tell us why these rivalries sell tickets or records. Brian Corcoran from Shamrock Sports. Okay, why do we love this so much?
I mean, I think everybody has a villain, everybody has a hero. I think in the case of the recent fight, it was really all about money, to be honest. You know, as somebody who works in the sport of sports and entertainment, I think you look at Celtics, Lakers, Red Sox, Yankees, you know, those are authentic, they're relevant, they've got history. Not to poo-poo people at home that loved what happened Saturday night, but it was a bit of a hyped up promotional act, but let's face it, it sells.
But everybody knew what they were getting, and you know, throughout the entire promotional tour, as they were screaming and yelling at each other and talking about Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, you knew it was for show. But 5 million people paid $100 a piece to watch it anyway, even though they knew. And then after the fight, they're hugging, they love each other, and they're all going to go cash their check. So if we knew it wasn't a real animosity, why were we so into it anyway?
So 5 million people paying $100 to watch that.
Yeah.
I wish Merriweather would have had to knock him out in the first 5 rounds to get his, what was it, 300 million that I read?
We'll see. After the pay-per-view, yeah. So
hey, you know, good for them. I think it's great for the UFC. Debatably whether it was good for boxing. There'll be more of it. This isn't certainly a flash in the pan. I think you know, that many people voting with their wallets, as we like to say in our business. There'll be a lot more of it.
And it's not just the team versus team, though. So even when it's Red Sox Yankees, when it was, you know, Veritek and A-Rod, it was personal, right? Yeah. So why does the personal rivalry stuff, why does that push it even further?
I think there's so much history and heritage going into the ones that you mentioned. I mean, certainly you've got people. I mean, in our world, you have brands. You got McDonald's, Burger King, Coke, Pepsi. It all fuels that. Everybody has an affinity. to either a product or, in the case of sports, a team. And then certainly there are the stars that drive that affinity. For brands, it's what sells. I like to use the expression, what opens hearts, opens wallets. So at the end of the day, you can't deny the fact of that people voted with their wallets for this fight. And the like of that, there are hundreds of millions of dollars of sponsorship revenue from, you know, endorsements, advertisers that fueled that fire. And certainly it does sell, I think. But that goes back to the individual and the collective passion point that we all have as fans. I like to call them fansumers. You know, they vote with their wallets to support their team, their favorite athlete, celebrity, whatever it may be.
All right, Brian Corbin from Shamrock Sports, thank you very much.
Not
that we'd ever advocate for it, but if you don't have a real rivalry, fake one, because people will pay to see it.
Oh, thanks, guys. Speaking of rivalries, we have our first matchup for our 5th quarter hometown showdown. You guys voted, and this week's feature game will be Brunswick versus Messalonskee. There it is. The Dragons will host the Eagles this Friday, and the 5th quarter team will be there, bringing you the most statewide coverage of high school football. Were you recently let go from your job? Well, Burger King is here to console you. The fast food chain is offering a Whopper severance plan. Today through Friday, Burger King will offer a free Whopper to the first 2,500 people who publicly confess on LinkedIn that they were fired. And the first 100 people who participate can get a 30-minute session with an online career resource, The Muse. Official rules on WhopperSeverance.com. You might need a new job after you say the S-N-O word. So there you go.
It's true. I'm not sure that's a good trade-off. Like, you get a free Whopper for telling all your professional contacts you got fired.
I eat my feelings all the time.
Probably not going to work out. All right, let's talk about where we're at right now, which is actually relatively mild. It's not a good-looking day over southern and central Maine, but it actually did warm up a decent amount. Much warmer, though, in Millinocket, Bangor, Caribou, 79 degrees there as they've seen sunshine. And of course, that has been the difference in the day. There's the cloud cover, admittedly more cloudy over southern Maine than I anticipated. Some of these clouds really got into the mid-levels, not just upper levels of the atmosphere. And so the rest of tonight will be mostly cloudy, which actually insulates us a little bit as far as overnight lows go. All right, this is the system we were watching for the possibility of turning into a tropical storm. That window now, though, is closed as the upper level wind shear is taking this thing apart. It is, though, going to be a strong storm system off the coastline tomorrow, regardless of, hello, child, how are you? Regardless of whether or not it's tropical or otherwise. All right, back to school. Very exciting. Here's a look at the path of this off to the north and east. You can see a lot of these are clustered northwest of the cone. The cone itself isn't all that important, though, because it is going to miss us by enough that all we're going to deal with through tomorrow afternoon is some swells that will get in there and into Thursday morning as well. So we'll watch those. Nothing huge, just be aware if you're going to be offshore, some big waves out there. Hour by hour forecast, mostly cloudy through tonight. Considerable cloudiness through the first half of tomorrow because of that storm system. And then by tomorrow afternoon, we start to clear out, at least for 2 or 3 hours at the end of the day. And then Thursday starts with a lot of sunshine, a couple of scattered showers in the mountains, and then actually a relatively mild day. So big picture, it's cool though. We've got all these lobes of cool air moving in, one on Friday and Saturday, another one coming in, and look at that trough building through the middle part of next week, which looks pretty cool for late next week as well. So what exactly does that mean? Well, I got real nerdy with it and looked at this forecast sounding. This gives you a vertical picture of the atmosphere. And what I was looking for is what level in the atmosphere on Friday could it potentially snow if there was moisture? And it's not that high up. We're looking at about 4,000 feet and above would be enough for snow on Friday morning. So it shows you how chilly it's going to be, not only at the surface, but aloft. You'll feel that, a high of only 65 on Friday. It looks nice on Saturday, does not look nice on Sunday. I think ultimately we end up with 2/3 of a decent holiday weekend here. Saturday looks pretty good. I don't like Sunday. I think it's cloudy, it's showery through much of the day. Temperatures only in the 60s, and then an isolated shower late on Monday. Most of Monday's in good shape. Should, though, get a brief warm up on Tuesday into the upper 70s to around 80. So not totally writing summer off yet, guys, but it is going to be on the cool side in general for the next 7 days.
Yeah, as long as I get 1 day for the boat in the sun in the summer, I'll be okay. That'll be okay.
It is all about Jess. So. Thanks, Keith.
Welcome to the show. And Cindy Williams is here with a look at what's coming up at 5:30.
You know, we know that Mainers are very generous people, and tonight at 5:30 we're going to introduce you to one Maine woman who now lives in Texas, who is opening her home there to anyone who needs food or shelter. Chris Rose spoke with her. We've got that story and an update about rescue efforts coming up. Also, Indigenous Peoples Day is a new holiday in Bangor. Why Columbus Day was replaced and what you guys think of that decision. Those stories and more coming up in the next half hour.
All right, thank you very much. There are still a few minutes left if you want to vote in our Pulse poll.
A lot of you are telling us what you think on Facebook right now, so make sure you cast your ballot before it's too late to do so. Go to pulse.newscentermaine.com or open the Pulse tab on our mobile apps. We want to know, should cell phones be allowed in the classroom? We'll tell you the results after the break.
All right, for the last half hour, we've been asking you to tell us if cell phones should be allowed in the classroom, and the votes are in.
Yeah, this is pretty
handily.
Yeah, handily one. 92% yes. 8% no, if my math is right. That's 100%. So a lot of people agreeing with you. I know you had strong opinions on this too. No cell phones in the classroom.
There seems to be no reason for it.
Yep, I agree.
To watch us.
Yeah, yeah, something like
School's
that.
out at that.
Today's Brain Drops, you know, a lot of talk about what's going on in Houston, obviously, and the really interesting visualization I saw today about what would it look like if they put all that water into one giant drop and dropped it on Houston. So this is Houston downtown via Google Maps here. This is Katrina's water content. This is Harvey's. And this is as of yesterday, by the way. So you would have to add about 5 trillion additional gallons to that. They went ahead and they superimposed them on other cities. Manhattan, this is what it would look like. It would be bigger than Manhattan. You would be dropping that sphere of water on top of it. And this is a very easy calculation, by the way, just number of inches by surface area, and that's what you end up with. And just gives you an idea of how much water they've been inundated with. And quick viewer question too. I had someone who wrote in and said, you know, normally on a north wind you can see New Hampshire's mountains really well. It's really clear. Why is that not the case in the last few days? Short answer, usually it's behind a cold front that the winds turn north. Cold front's clearing behind it. We've been in such a dry pattern so long, the clouds have found their way back around the ridge.
All right, brain dropped. Thank you. News Center 5:30 starts right now.